Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of
Take in the Trash with
Ishway
and Yibing.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking about season 2, episodes 3 and 4. We just finished watching episode 4 together. We watched episode 3 separately, and oh my god, there's so much to talk about.
Okay, let's start with episode 3.
Yes.
So where we left off, we just saw two couples go to paradise. So-eun and Yoon-jae, and Dong-woo and Seok-gi.
And didn't I say, I was like, Seok-gi and Dong-woo they are not a good couple. They will not make it. And
Okay, let's start with them, okay? So, what I noticed is that when Dong-woo picked up Seok-gi's luggage to go upstairs to go to the helicopter and go to paradise, he made a comment and he said, "Oh, did you pack your swimsuit?" And she was like, "Yeah, I did." And I was like, "Oh, this guy really wants to like go swimming with her and see her in a swimsuit." And I kind of just thought that was odd.
I do remember thinking that too. Yeah.
And then when they went to paradise together, they had it was really awkward. She didn't really drink and he wanted to drink. So they were kind of incompatible in that way. Yeah. And a little bit later on, he was like, "Oh, do you still have the energy to go swimming?"
Yeah.
And that's why I remembered what he said earlier.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Also, he was like, "I love meat." He said this like 5 times. And she was like, "Oh, I'll have a salad." You know what I mean? They're just so incompatible on so many levels, and it really made me not like Dong-woo at all, that he like did not pick up or ignored all of these incompatibilities and then kept like asking her how much she liked him. And it was very obvious, I think, from her responses that she didn't really like him, because she was like, "I'm actually like very upfront and honest with people I like I'm very forward." And he's like, "Oh, you are? You don't seem that way." And it's like, yeah, because she doesn't like you, so she's not being upfront. Duh.
Like, he would ask her all these questions, like, about, like, her intentions afterwards. And she would be like, I don't know. Can you stop asking me?"
Literally said that. And he didn't.
And I remember he said, "If I win, would you want me to choose you for, like, a date? If you won one of those dates?" And she said, "I just want you to choose someone you like."
Which I thought was a very good response.
Yeah. But what I thought she said that, it was very nice, but I thought she probably meant, "Please don't choose me."
Oh, for sure. Especially since, like, from the get-go, like, she's never shown any interest on the date. And I mean, they don't show us everything, but it didn't seem like he got to know her that well. Like, all the questions were like, "Do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me?" And it's like, well, maybe she wanted you to ask her more about, like, her life, you know, or her interests. And maybe he did ask that and it just wasn't shown. But all we saw was, like, him asking her 10 times, "Do you like me?" And her being like, I don't know. I'm really forward with people I like. I don't know if I like you."
What did you think about their professions?
Oh my god, I was so shocked. Okay, since we're on them, we'll talk about them first. I was shocked that he was a doctor, and then he's a plastic surgeon, and I was somehow less shocked. But, I mean, I think her being, like, a student and a piano player, like, she's 25. She said she was, like, a senior in college. Being a piano player kind of fit her, because she seems more, like, very straight-laced. Like, I feel like piano is very traditional. It's not like the guitar or something.
I was kind of shocked that he was a doctor, to be honest.
Right?
And then when they showed the clip with him in, like, the doctor's, like, white coat and, like, doing doctor stuff, I was like, oh, this is a different side of him that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. And I was a little bit more attracted to him when they showed that to me. And then with her, I thought, oh, okay, she's a senior in college. So I thought she was going to be a little bit older than what she actually was.
Me too.
And I was still surprised that she was a piano player, but also very impressed.
She still lives with her parents because she's a student. And I think that, like, makes kind of sense with her personality.
I think so too.
Yeah. For him, yeah, so I also love that they say which universities they went to, and I have no idea what Yonsei University is, but it sounded all the commentators are very impressed, yes. So I'm assuming it's a good one. And hers is Seoul National University, which sounds, I mean, it's a national university, so I think it's pretty good.
That also sounds really good.
I was gonna Google them later, but yeah, they sounded really good. Yeah. Also, he's older than I thought he would be because he's 32, Dongwoo.
I think that is about what I thought he would be.
Okay.
I thought that he would be 32.
Really? I
Yeah.
didn't. And I thought she was going to be older.
Yeah, I thought she
Like,
was
at
going to
least
be
28.
older, and I thought that he would be like in his early 30s.
Okay, so you're right about that. Yeah, overall, I just kind of liked him less. He was also drunk, though. Like, his face was, like, super red from the drinking, and I think maybe that's why he was kind of annoying, hopefully. Because, like, in the daytime, he's never been that annoying. So hopefully he was
I think
just
they
drunk.
were just incompatible. Like,
Yeah.
the whole thing was them kind of butting heads. He was really trying to get more from her, and she was pulling away, wouldn't give him much, and they were just incompatible in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, and Silky also said to Dongwoo, like, you can't force someone to like them.
Oh,
Which is very telling.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
that's
come
not
on,
a good
hint, hint.
sign.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the other couple, which I thought were way amazing. Yoonjae and Seoun.
I love them.
Me too!
They were so good together, and oh my gosh, they had really great chemistry.
Yes.
And what I noticed is in the other couple, they were actually not in the same bedroom. They had
Yeah.
two separate bedrooms.
Yeah.
And with Yeonjae and Seoun, they were actually in the same bedroom, but she took the bed and he took one of the like smaller side beds.
Yeah.
And they like talked for hours. They had so much in common. They were like laughing together, and they were like both curious about each other. They both liked each other, and they just like kept wanting to talk to each other, and their chemistry just naturally like came together.
Okay,
It just
yes.
worked so well.
And I loved their, I was like more shocked about their professions
Me
than the
too.
other people.
Me
I don't know
too.
why. So Seoun, she's 28 and she's an artist, and she went to Pratt. And I was like, oh my god, like I've heard of that, right? Like for art, that's like pretty good. So I was very impressed by her. I mean, I just love artists anyways. The fact that she's like creative, I was like, oh. And then I was like, maybe that's why she's also a little more outgoing and bubbly too. I don't know. And then he's 32, and he works at a securities firm called I don't know what it is, but it sounded like maybe Goldman Sachsy.
It
You know
does,
what I
because
mean?
he majored in finance in college.
Okay.
And he has to wear suits a lot to this work. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's very like analytical, financy type of stuff. And for her, I was kind of shocked too, because I just didn't expect an artist to be on a show
Same.
like this. I thought she would be a TV host for some reason.
Well, she has a great personality.
Yeah, yeah.
Part of me was also gonna say, I feel like she has great chemistry with so many people. Like, I could have seen her having an equally good date with a lot of other people.
I agree.
So I think she was right in the first 2 seasons when she was like, I put people at ease and I'm like a good conversationalist. She really is. And then, but then I thought a little bit more about Yoonjae, and I was like, oh, this is why he was reading a research paper about the alternative food things, because he's analytical.
Yes.
He was probably like looking at the numbers and like analyzing shit.
Yeah.
So it did make sense.
It makes
and
a
why
lot
he
of
values
sense.
wisdom. It's all ties to his job.
I still do think that that's one of the characteristics that no other guy I've known in the universe have said that they wanted from a girl.
I
Is
know,
wisdom.
but I love it.
Yeah, that's very unique.
It made me like him so much more, and he wears glasses now, and like almost every scene, and I love his glasses.
I have to comment
What?
about this because I don't know why, but he became 1,000 times more attractive after he put on glasses.
Yes, I know, me too. I was like, wait. Especially the dark rimmed one. I really like that pair.
Well, I like the dark rimmed one, but I also like the clear ones too. I don't know why he like fits glasses really well.
does.
And it brings out, because I think he like looks at people behind his glasses, and he like makes really good eye contact with them behind the glasses. And sometimes it also hides his facial expressions too. He kind of wears his feelings on his face.
Yeah.
And that kind of like hides his expressions a little bit, but he looks very good in glasses.
He does. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, so they had great chemistry. They had a great time. They talked for like 6 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, that was so hilarious because they came back and they were like, oh yeah, how long did you talk for? And he was like, yeah, we talked for 6 hours. And they panned over to Dongwoo, and he's like, we talked a lot too.
I was like, you talked a lot. You probably don't even remember. And they were, okay, so the other thing is I also noticed, like, Seon is so gracious. Like, she served them pasta. Like, she served him pasta, which I thought was, like, so sweet.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
I really like her.
Me too.
Okay, so the other people did not get to go to paradise, period. And I kind of wish they had shown more of them interacting on Inferno.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to show us more of that because I would be curious if any of them connected that night.
I know.
You know, all cooking together, lamenting about why they didn't go to Inferno, and maybe like getting other connections from people they weren't expecting to.
Yeah, but it seems like everyone's gun-ho about their original person that they're like have their eye on. So like Jungwoo is still obsessed with Silky, you know? Like
I think there are 3 people who are still into their first choice.
Who are they?
So, So-e,
yes.
Jungwoo, and Hanbin.
You're right. They are. Those are the 3. Okay, so let's go more chronological. So they came back from Paradise, and then there's this like rope contest thingy. And then they introduced a new character.
Okay, I was so shocked. Okay, before we introduce a new character, when they had the tug of war, the first one was Dongwoo versus Yoonjae. And I was shocked at how intense Yoonjae was.
Yeah,
in the tug of war, he
intense.
was trying really, really hard. And you can see it on his face that he was concentrating really hard.
He looked like he was dying.
He did. Yeah. I wasn't expecting him to win. I bet on Dongwoo, but I was really hoping that Yoonjae would win that
Interesting.
one.
Yeah, I thought Dongwoo physically was smaller. I know you looked at their abs in the first 2 episodes and you said Dongwoo had the best abs, but I think physically Yoonjae is bigger, so I wasn't that shocked. Yeah.
But Dongwoo won, so...
Oh, I don't remember. I didn't take any notes from that.
Okay, so Dongwoo won, and then the next 2 that were up were Jungwoo and Hanbin, and then Jungwoo ended up winning, which I wasn't surprised. And in the last round, it was going to be Jungwoo versus Dongwoo, but then a third guy came in. And I thought it was so unfair for Dongwoo and Jungwoo because they had already done 1 round of tug of war.
That's a good point.
And they were probably kind of tired already, so it gave the third guy an advantage.
Okay, another thing I noted, I don't know if you noticed this, but the angles I do not think were fair. Like, I think they had the 2 2 winners almost not perpendicular at a 180.
I agree.
So they're obviously gonna pull each other apart.
I agree.
And then the third person, it's all about vectors, like math.
I totally agree. I was so annoyed by the person who was positioning them. Yeah. And I think that was probably on purpose with production.
Yes.
Because that's what I noticed too.
Yeah, and I even wrote it down. New guy here, unfair angle. Okay, but let's talk about the new guy's entrance. What were your first thoughts?
Okay, so his name is Kim Jin-young. And he comes in, he walks in, he has this kind of long-ish, curly hair. He walks in pretty confident, and I can see some tattoos peeking out. So my first impression is that he's a laid-back, kind of bad boy type.
Yeah, and didn't the same thing happen last season? Like, the newcomer was, like, all tatted up.
Yes.
Like, very similar vibes.
Yes.
And, okay, I love his wavy hair. I think he's very cute. But his sense of style, I think, is the worst. He came in wearing jean shorts, and I was like, are you kidding me? And these sandals. And I was like, what the hell? And then he, like, did the tug of war in his jean shorts. I was like, this is not the appropriate wear. I mean, I don't know when you would ever wear jean shorts, but I thought out of all the guys, he had the least fashion sense.
I think he would look better in a fitted shirt. Because the button-up that he wore was kind of loosey-goosey on him. And I think he would just look better in a style that was more fitted.
I agree. And you know what I wrote? Because of his poor style, I thought he worked in tech. I was like, he's probably what did I write here? Tech investor, LOL. That was my guess for him.
Maybe. I'm not quite sure what he does for work.
Yeah.
He says that he rides motorcycles and that he takes about 3 seconds to feel a spark with like a woman.
Yeah, when he said the motorcycle part, I was like, so he's not a neurosurgeon, probably not a trauma surgeon.
No, I don't think so.
But like anything else.
No. And the thing is, when he said the 3 seconds thing, I thought, okay, he's going to base everything on looks. Because how are you going to make a decision in 3 seconds?
And you were so right, because he won. So he got to choose 2 women to go on a little date with. And he didn't know their names or anything. He just said the second and fourth one. And they turned out to be the 2 women who'd already gone to paradise. Silky and Seon.
Yeah. What are the chances? He picked the 2 most sought after girls.
I know.
On Paradise.
Without even knowing it, because he just came in, so he didn't know it. Okay, and then what did you think about their little trio date?
So I thought that he was a little bit of a aloof guy.
For sure.
Doesn't really wear his emotion on his face. I can't really read him very well.
Well, he seemed not interested in anyone.
Yes, he seemed disinterested, but it looked like Soki was totally into that.
Yes. So he is like the type of person, because I think Dongwoo was like too into her and she was turned off by that. She wants to chase people.
I agree.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think with this guy, he's not going to show her that, oh, like, I like you so much. Like,
because I don't think he likes anyone. I think yeah. And I thought he was quite rude. Like when they came in, the girls came in, he was like, oh, come in, I've been here or whatever. And he didn't like stand up or anything. And I feel like you would normally like stand up to greet your guests. I don't know. And then he was just like, he didn't like offer to like, I don't know, plate their food. He was just like, help yourselves. And I thought that was very rude, honestly. Like it's fine in America, but like I feel like in Korea, that's like so rude not to serve your like dates.
I agree. And I just feel like he's like aloof. He's kind of straightforward. Mm-hmm. And then I don't think he has said like very much in that conversation with them. But the girls also were asking him, oh, why did you choose us to go on this date? And he told So-eun that he chose her because she was cheerful, and for Soki because she was pretty.
I know. And I thought Soon was like such a good character. She was like, oh, so just because I'm cheerful, you know, like implying I'm not pretty. I thought she made really good conversation with him, like she does with everyone, you know, no surprise.
I agree.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm not very impressed with the new guy.
No, not at all. Like he kind of seems like a twat.
All the girls were quite like in uproar over this new guy because he's new on the island, but I don't really think he's all that.
No, it's just because he's new, and I think for the girls who went to Paradise, he chose them, so there's a little bit of interest there. Yeah. And then for the resulting ones, I know Soe isn't interested in them. But for the other ones, I think it's a little bit like, well, the person I like didn't choose me, so I might as well pay a little attention. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Which is what I think Nadine did.
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of like them. They're both tall. And
That's
aloof.
True. Yes.
They're both super aloof.
Yes, I do wonder if in the future they'll pick each other at some point.
I hope so.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, so after this part, So-eun and Hanbin goes to talk. I think Hanbin asks So-eun to go talk.
Yes.
And I feel like he just has looked at her in so much anticipation. He really wants to get to know her a lot. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really think that she reciprocated the feelings.
Yeah, like I actually thought when that happened, normally Seon is like very cute, like makes good conversation, and I could tell in that moment she did not want to make good conversation at all. Because he like expressed his interest in her from the beginning, saying like, I sent you the first postcard basically, like with the chopped onions, and she was like, oh. So I really didn't think that she liked him at all.
I agree. I didn't really feel much spark between the two of them.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he tried and pulled her aside and told her how he felt.
Yeah.
And then Jungwoo took Soki aside and they like sat in this place like right in front of the ocean. Oh. And he said this phrase that I think is very true. He's not very good at eye contact. What I
Yes.
noticed in that entire conversation was he was looking at the ocean, looking really far away, and she was looking at him the whole time, and he barely looked at her.
Yeah, but at least he's self-aware.
Yes, that's
And
true.
I liked what he said. I thought what he said was very, very good. Like, I like you, and I think, what did he say? Oh, the sparkling water is like so pretty, like your eyes, basically. Like, she gave him this phrase. I thought it was like a beautiful moment. Yeah, I liked him more after that.
Yeah, and then he made like a joke about her like name and the sparkling
Yes,
water.
that was so
kind of
cute. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What else happened?
And then Soe, she
Oh, God. Oh my god.
so she's been focused on Yoonjae from the very beginning.
I know.
And she was telling the girls that, you know, from the very beginning, I've been focused on one person.
Yeah.
I came in and I was immediately interested in this one person. And that was just who she was, which
Yeah.
I give her props for knowing that's her personality and that's how she is, and she wasn't swayed by any of the other guys. But at the same time, I want her to just like give the other guys a chance too, and
I
not be
know.
so focused on Yoonjae.
I know. And she talked to him so much about her feelings. Like, she was so straightforward. Like, I've only been interested in one person, and it's you, basically. She said that like 3 times, and like pulled him aside each time. He was like, oh, okay, I see. Yeah, I guess he did say he was curious about her, but she literally was like, are you curious about me? Like, how can you say no?
You can't say no. That
Yeah.
was like a setup question.
I know.
You can't be a bad guy and say, "Oh, I'm actually not curious about you."
Right.
Like
That's
I
so
really
rude.
thought that Yoonjae at that point was being like nice
Definitely.
and saying, "Yeah, I am curious about you."
Yeah, and I'm
But-
sure he is. Like, he's probably curious about everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then we move on, and the couple started matching up to go to paradise again.
Oh my gosh. This was crazy. I was shocked, honestly. Oh wait, I think did we miss that the new guy also talked with Sejun?
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
And they kind of like had a chemistry going on. It seemed like there could be something going on
They
there.
did kind of vibe.
Yeah.
I could see him going with her.
Me too.
But then I remember what he said about the 3-second thing, and I was like, he's definitely gonna choose
Like,
Sophie.
she's not his type based on
Yeah,
looks. Because
yeah.
otherwise he would have like picked
He
her.
would have picked her for the first
Yeah.
round. Because I feel like what he is focused on is looks. And
Yeah.
looks only.
Yeah. But, you know, maybe it'll change.
Maybe. I just haven't seen much depth to this guy, so I don't have much
For
high
sure.
hopes for him right
Yeah,
now. At
that's
least.
true. Okay, so back to the paradise pairing. Oh my god. I was shocked. So Seoon was so popular, got picked by like 2 guys, right? Because she couldn't get picked by Yoonjae, her first paradise lover. So she was picked by Hanbing and who else?
She was just picked by Hanbin,
Oh,
I'm
shit.
pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
But she picked him back!
So that's what I was most surprised
too.
about. So I'm really happy for Hanbin because
too.
when So-eun came out, he looked like a little like puppy. He was so excited.
Yeah.
He was the only guy that I noticed who like ran
Me too.
over
Yeah,
to
to help
her,
her with her
and
bag.
grabbed her bag.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because when he was standing out there and he said, I want to go with So-eun, they panned to a shot of the girls talking about, oh my gosh, who do you think like
Oh, yeah.
Hanbin is interested in? And all the girls were saying, you know, we have no idea who he's interested in. And I was just like, are you guys blind? Have you not been here the whole time? He's
Yeah.
only interested in So-eun.
And she said, yeah, same. And I was like, he literally came over and talked to you about how he likes you, so...
Yeah, I think she was just trying to relate to the
Yeah,
other
just trying to
girls.
fit in. But I'm really happy that they're going, and it does make a little sense because she is quite wise, I think. And I think in her head, she was like, well, I should give this guy a chance, you know?
If they do eventually get together, he is going to worship the ground that she walks on.
As he should.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What was the second couple?
So, Jin Yong, the new guy. So, who was he going to pick? So, he ended up picking, no surprise, Soki.
Yeah.
I knew for sure that he was going to pick her based on first impressions.
Really? I didn't. I guess I didn't pay too much attention to the 3-second thing. Because I was like, oh my god, maybe he'll pick Sejun. No,
I knew that he was going to pick Seolki for sure. And it was just hilarious because when Seolki came out and they were walking up the stairs, she had her like heavy suitcase and she asked him, "Can you carry this for me?"
Oh my god, he's so rude. And he was like, oh, you want me to carry it? Okay. And then she was like, wait, what happened? And then she was like...
no, I'll carry it. And he's like, okay, carry it.
Yeah. Like, are you insane? And then he was also walking in front of her for like halfway. Yes. And then he was like, oh, you go first. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, some decency.
Honestly, I thought that was hilarious. But I think if I was ever in a relationship with him, I wouldn't be able to handle it.
No. And I feel like that would be such a turnoff, but I don't think it will deter Silky's feelings
I don't think so either.
Because again, I think she likes someone who like, she like doesn't maybe like her back or is not obvious.
Yes.
So
because she was saying that she likes somebody who is like kind and nice, and she even said that this guy is the opposite of her type.
I know.
But I think that she doesn't really know what her type is.
Right.
Because she's obviously not going for the nice guys.
Yeah, exactly. And she did say she's only been in one relationship.
Yes, exactly.
So I think she doesn't really know.
No, I didn't think so.
But she does.
The last couple that got together was Dongwoo and Nadine. And I did see this one coming too. I wasn't sure if Nadine was going to pick him back, but I also wasn't surprised that she did.
Same. Because, I mean, they've talked the most. Like, they've shown her interactions. Yeah. And also, it's not that surprising because Nadine only very briefly talked to the new guy. So.
Yeah. So, I'm excited to see how their chemistry will be compared to Dongwoo and Seolki. I think it'll be very easy to surpass that chemistry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, seriously. Also, I loved how Nadine had a cute stuffed animal. I mean, I know a lot of the girls did, but I like hers the most. Isn't it from that show? Like, The Flying Dragon, Black... I don't know, I didn't watch the Pixar movie, but you didn't watch it either. Okay, but it's so cute.
It is really cute.
I'm just, like, holding on to it, and I'm like,
I loved how, like, when she left the last time, the girls, like, put her... like it back into like the blanket to put her like
they
stuffed
tucked
animal
her stuffed animal into sleep. Yeah. Also, I like Nadine because I feel like, okay, first of all, she was very honest that she liked the new guy. She was like, oh, he seems really cool. I'm like interested in talking with him. When they were doing makeup, she's like, I'm gonna go talk with him. And then Sejun comes out of nowhere, I feel like, and like talked to the new guy. And then she was like, oh, you guys go. And then they were like, oh, no, you can come with. But then Sejun's like, oh, there's only 2 chairs. So Nadine was like, okay, you guys just go talk. And then they pan to the area and there's 3 chairs.
Yes, I noticed that too.
What the hell? Nadine totally could have been a part of this.
I think she wanted to give them space.
Yeah.
Because I think she will have a chance to do that later.
Yeah. But I like Nadine for doing that.
Yeah.
Like, just go ahead, guys. Like, have a good time.
That was very nice of her.
Yeah.
Okay, so... afterwards, let's talk about Jungwoo first. So he was outside. He said he wanted to go with Seolki and she didn't come out. And he looked pretty upset. And honestly, my heart kind of broke for him because I feel like he was holding back some tears while he was walking
very
back.
upset, Yeah. And, I mean, later on, he did say that, like, he thought things were heading somewhere with her. They've talked a few times. And so I think the fact that she didn't pick him made him question maybe his feelings for her. Because they're not, like, reciprocated. Which I think is a very, like, normal response.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And then, poor Soe.
I know. I feel bad for her. But at the same time... it's like, she's like that guy from last season who was like so hung up. I don't even know. On like one person, like put blinders on everyone else. And it's like, I mean, it's so, you've made yourself so clear to this guy. You've talked to him so many times.
Yes.
And he very obviously does not like you because he picked Nadine, someone he's never talked to.
Exactly. Okay, so spoilers. Yoonjae comes out.
Yeah.
And... he ended up picking Nadine.
Yeah. And
I think this was a really smart strategy because in the previous episode, Sejun and also Soe were both interested in him. So he picked the one person who was not interested in him at all. Rather than anyone that he could have gone to paradise with.
But I'm kind of shocked. I mean, I guess he did it out of affection for Seun, and maybe he thought that she would do the same.
Mm-hmm. I think it's that, but also that he wasn't interested in Soe.
But wasn't he kind of interested in Sejun?
Yeah, but I felt like that kind of
died
out because after he picked So-eun and came back, I don't think Sejun ever like talked to him about that and expressed any more interest in him.
Yeah, she like moved on. She's like, you're not interested in me.
Yeah, I think she moved on, and Soe kind of just kept being persistent.
Yeah. Do you think he was shocked that Seo-eun wasn't there? Because his face did look shocked.
I think he was shocked.
Yeah, so maybe he thought they would both stay in Inferno and pick someone they didn't really like, you know, and then they could have a good time in Inferno.
Exactly. I think that's what he wanted to happen.
Yeah, because I feel like if he knew the choice was Seo-eun wasn't going to be in Inferno versus he could go to Paradise with So-yi, I think he would have chosen to go to Paradise.
Oh, that's an interesting theory. I think based on where he was at in that part of the episode, he would have chosen to stay without going with Soe.
But then he has to know Soe would still be in Inferno with him, and that's kind of hell.
I think he would have known that.
Really?
I think he expected that because based on their previous conversation together, she expressed that she was interested in him.
Yeah, like, but wouldn't you rather be with that person in paradise versus in hell?
You would, yes.
Yeah, because then you could have a good food, and then if he got to know her more, if he liked her more, great. If he didn't, then he would know for sure he doesn't like her. Yeah. And he could tell her, like, hey, I don't think we're on the same page after getting to know you more. Because I feel like Soe's main problem with him, and she said this at the very end, when she talked about my gun, I was like, oh my god, stop. She was like, I know you're interested in, like, talking to a lot of people. That's just, like, how you date. But, like, I just wish you would give me that chance, you know?
I thought she put it in a really good way. She's like, just give me a chance.
Yeah. And he did say, like, I'm going to think about it.
And I think that he will give her a chance. And I think both of them staying in Inferno and So-eun going with Hanbin to Paradise gave them the chance to get to know each other a little bit better.
Yeah.
And now his heart is a little bit more open towards her. And I think eventually they will go to Paradise together.
I think it's also a little more open because he's a little heartbroken that Seun went with someone else.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I still think that he's more compatible with Seun.
Compared to Hanbin?
No, I think Yoon Jae is more compatible with Seun compared to Soe.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because, I mean, also when Soe was like, I wish you would just, like, get a chance to know me more. I'm like, y'all are talking right now. You have all the time in Inferno.
Exactly.
Like, what do you want?
At the same time, I also wonder what kind of topics they're forbidden to talk about.
Right.
Obviously, they can't talk about the age and occupation, but can they still talk about family, like how many siblings they have, what values they have? Because those are also really important conversations.
You're right.
And maybe they can't have those conversations on Inferno either.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that because they don't tell us that. Okay, what else is there to talk about here? I feel like we covered so much.
I think we covered most of it. What I'm really excited about is the next episode's preview.
Oh my god. Wait. Okay, before we get to that, I have some funny moments that I wanted to recap. So I love that when Dongwoo said, like, I'm a doctor, they replayed it like 3 times and the commentator was like, whoa. I thought that was hilarious. I also thought it was very ironic that Dongwoo's shirt, when he was talking to Seok-gi the next day, like, how was your morning or whatever, his shirt said lover. Did you notice that? I thought that was so funny.
Didn't notice at all.
It literally said lover, and I was like, yeah, chill down. She's not into you.
Okay, the part I thought was hilarious. Jongwoo has the worst instincts ever.
Oh my god.
I think
he totally does.
It was hilarious because, you know, they were the ones left behind and the girls are asking him, you know, who do you think are coupled up or going to Paradise? And he started spewing up these couples that made absolutely no sense. And they're like, what are you basing this on? And he said, you know, they had said hi in the morning, and I just felt that they had like telepathic connection.
Oh my god.
And everybody else looked at each other and they're like, what is this guy on?
I actually like him so much more now. I know I didn't really like him at the beginning because I don't love his nose. Which him and Silky have the same nose and they complimented each other's noses, by the way. And I was like, yeah, because you guys both had work done. They look the same. That's why you like each other's noses. Anyways, I do love Jung-un though. I feel like his personality is coming out more and he's actually hilarious.
He
Like,
is hilarious.
when like there were flies, they're like, oh, what are we doing? We're attracting flies.
Yes.
That with him and Han being like, oh, and then Han Bing was like, well, it's good that we're attracting flies. Like, so optimistic.
Yes, that's what I love about Hanbin. He's so
He's
optimistic.
so cute. And then, yeah, also, maybe his guesses were crazy off because he has horrible eye contact and he doesn't look at anyone. So he's just listening to everyone talk.
I agree. And I also thought that scene showed that Yoonjae has really high, like, emotional intelligence.
Oh, yes.
He, like, guessed all the pairs correctly, and he was
Yes.
so in tune with all of it.
And So-e also has really good emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah, she's very self-aware.
I agree, and I agree. And I think in that way, So-e and Yoonjae are very compatible.
And he did say, like, I appreciate you coming over here and speaking with me, you know, like, after about it. I had maybe, like, guessed that you were feeling that type of way, but I appreciate that you, like, came over and talked to me. So I feel like he appreciates, like, her maturity and kind of,
I
like,
agree.
speaking. And maybe
I
that was
agree.
what was, like, I like someone who can, like, talk about their feelings in a mature way. She even said, like, I don't want you to feel pressured, even though I felt like she was being very pressury.
Yeah.
But at least she did say that. So I think that did, like, get some points with him.
Yeah, I thought the conversation that they had was very mature. She was really honest with her feelings. And I know in our last episode, I thought that she kind of came off really childish. And I think it's the way that she... Not the way that she phrases things, but the tone of voice that she uses
Like
to
a baby
speak.
voice,
Like a
yeah.
baby voice.
But she didn't in this conversation.
But in this conversation, she didn't use that
Yeah.
baby voice. She was really serious.
Yeah.
She presented herself in a really good way. Didn't show
Yeah.
too much emotion. Because prior to that, she was, crying and very emotional. But in this case, she really expressed herself well and came off very maturely.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So big points for her there. Okay, we can move on to the previews.
Okay, so there were only a couple things in the preview, but I feel like what's going to happen next is So-eun and Hanbin are going to come back, and So-eun is going to talk to Yoon-jae, and he's going to be like, this kind of changes things a little bit.
That is what he said in the preview.
Yeah. Because now he's had a conversation with Zoe. She's
Yeah.
had another like overnight date with another guy, and now I think he's gonna choose Zoe for Paradise, and that's gonna kind of shake things up.
What I thought was going to happen is maybe he was going to be kind of upset with Seoon for like not choosing someone to not go to Paradise with, and that, but I don't know. But I kind of think that he'll choose Seoon again. I don't know that he'll choose Zoe. But whatever. He said he would tell Zoe before it was too late.
I agree.
Indicating that, like, he'll let her know if he doesn't choose her so she can choose someone else.
Yeah. I think who he chooses will depend on his conversation with Seoon when she comes back.
Yeah.
And how that goes.
I agree. And then in the preview, it seemed like Silky was really into the new guy.
Yes. Oh, and what I noticed is that we saw her in a swimsuit.
Yeah.
With the new guy.
Yes, because she's into him.
Yes, and she did not go swimming with Dongwoo.
Well, to be fair, she was like, well, I can splash around, you can swim. So and then he was like, nah, let's not go. So, like, I think she was willing to go, but didn't.
Yeah, I think she feels more chemistry and she feels more like towards this new guy.
Yeah, definitely. I think she feels more comfortable when someone's not grilling her with questions, probably. And she's the one who's, like, asking the other person questions.
Exactly, but I think that's going to backfire.
Well, it seemed like he maybe is interested in, getting to know other women, and then she gets upset about that. That's just, like, the preview, right?
Yeah. I don't know if that's actually going to happen, but I can foresee maybe some heartbreak in there. Who knows?
I also liked Jungwoo and Sejun together, like in Inferno. I thought they were cute, and I think they should choose each other.
I think so too. I just don't know if Jungwoo's going to ever get over Soki.
Oh my god. I mean, I feel like hopefully he had a realization that he's like has no insight and lack of awareness after being completely wrong, and all the other three people were like, we agree on the couples and it's not that. He was like, oh, why are my instincts so off? You know, like, yeah, maybe reflect on that.
Exactly. I hope he realizes, and I just don't know if Sejong like thinks of Jongwoo in that way, but I could see it happening.
I feel like she's open to it. I felt like she was a little flirty, or just like, you know, talking with him. Like they cooked together outside with the ramen. So, and then he made the comment about the ocean, and she was like, he's not even looking at the ocean.
You can't even see the ocean, and you're not even looking at the ocean.
You can't even make eye contact with the ocean. Oh my god. Okay, and then they did talk about the commentators this time about how working hard does not necessarily work in romance.
Yes.
Which is a point we kind of touched on last episode of our podcast. Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's the case, but in this case, I guess maybe Sohee is slowly winning over Yoonjae, so I
think she's winning over him, but at the end of the day, at the very end, I think he'll choose Sohun.
Yeah.
But who knows? Maybe we'll have something like last season.
I don't remember last season. We'll have to do an episode. Okay. Oh, I wanted to say this at the beginning and I forgot, but thank you to everyone who listened to episode 1 of our podcast. So that's mainly just our friends. But thank you so much. Please leave us a 5-star review and a typed out comment if you want. Anything else before we wrap this one up?
I'm just so excited for next week.
Me too. We will be here next Tuesday. Yes, Tuesday. Right after the episodes come out. So please stay tuned next week. Bye!
Bye, guys!